Have you ever experienced your whole world falling apart only to later realize that it was all happening to transform you? That is the death and rebirth cycle, which is a sacred process of shedding the old to make way for the new. The death and rebirth cycle is a spiritual process where old identities, beliefs, and attachments dissolve to allow for spiritual and personal growth. So for today's Talk with Tyy Tuesday, we're going to be talking all about the death and rebirth cycle, as well as the disintegration of the false self, which is ego, and aligning with the higher self. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Hi loves, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. My name is Tyla. Thank you so much for joining me today. To get started on this topic, I'm going to first go into what an ego death is. So to get started, our ego is basically our sense of identity. So this is usually shaped by societal expectations, by fears and limiting beliefs. And although it does help to support us, it can often keep us stuck within our comfort zones. So when we speak of an ego death, a lot of the common symptoms can be feelings of loss, feelings of confusion, and a lot of emotional turmoil. And this can often lead to you feeling like you are detached from your identity, your relationships, or even your life purpose. So when speaking of an ego death, it's not a literal death, but it's more so just a death of old paradigms, as well as old beliefs and patterns that no longer serve you. And it can even just be a death of a past version of yourself. And this also can kind of even go hand in hand with the topic of the dark night of the soul, which I do also have a video on, and I'll make sure to leave that link at the end of this video. Now, I know that this can be a very uncomfortable place to be in, but this is actually a great place to be in, because from here is where you can start to create your new beliefs. From the time that we're young up until our adulthood, we've been under a lot of heavy conditioning, and a lot of those things that we learn don't always serve us well. So sometimes as we grow, especially spiritually, we start to detach from certain beliefs and start developing our own as we step more into who we're meant to be. So detaching and releasing that old belief system is only going to help you to solidify who it is that you want to become and create a new and healthier system for yourself. Some other common signs of an ego death can also be repeating life patterns breaking apart, loss of interest in things that used to matter, and a deep yearning for something more. Our ego also serves as protection for us. So what happens is that our ego will keep us in situations and cycles that feel comfortable because it feels familiar and safe. So at times when you experience an ego death, it'll cause you to break free from certain old cycles and patterns that you were stuck in, and you'll start to desire more outside of what you're used to and what you're comfortable with. That's also why you may notice that you have a loss in interest in things that you used to enjoy, and you'll start to have a deeper yearning for something more. Some signs that you'll be experiencing a rebirth can be new clarity about your purpose. It can be feeling lighter and feeling more authentic, as well as attracting new opportunities and relationships that align more with your true self. This was one of my favorite parts of experiencing an ego death, because once you remove that false identity along with all the things that no longer serve you, you'll start to receive everything that truly resonates with you. And this is really because you aren't operating from your ego, and you're operating more so from a soul level, which is the real you and not the identity that's been created. Now, although these all sound like amazing benefits, the process itself may not always feel as amazing. So just a couple of tips that I can give in order to help you really ease through experiencing an ego death is to let go of the resistance and recognize that fighting the process just prolongs the pain. Allow yourself to feel whatever it is that comes up for you, and you can even use affirmations or mantras in order to help reassure yourself. So for example, you can say, I trust this process, or this process is happening for me and not to me. It's all about your perspective while going through this process, because once you can identify that this process is for the betterment of you and it's going to result in you becoming a more evolved version of yourself, then it becomes easier to work through it because it's only a temporary part of the process. Another really great way to work through an ego death is by practicing self-reflection, and you can do this mentally or physically through writing. You can write about what it is in your life that you feel is falling apart and how you feel about these changes. And you can also use self-reflection to figure out what these changes may be trying to teach you and what it is that you're being asked to release. And the most important thing that I want to leave with you guys is to allow yourself to grieve, because through going through this process, you may lose a lot of friends, a lot of connections, or even just certain things that you had certain attachments to. And this can be a very difficult thing to experience when you're detaching from all the things that you once knew. So you have to be very patient with yourself in this process, and don't suppress whatever it is that you feel and what comes up, because feeling is the most important part to your healing. So you have to give yourself grace and allow yourself to feel everything that comes up. So if you're currently experiencing this and you were a little unsure as to what it is that you're going through and experiencing, know that this is actually a really great gift, and this is going to bring about a lot of transformation for you, because after death always follows a rebirth. So I would love to hear your experiences or anything that you might want to share in the comments down below. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace and much love.